Oh, yeah. Technical difficulties as Tuesday's show. It's already been a very goofy day, so this kind of lines up with everything else. Why not, right? Why not? Anyway, welcome back. Whitty Reviews, 8 o'clock, Chateau de Mars Hill studio. I am your host, Steve Whitmer, a.k.a. Slick Whitty, a.k.a. the Baron of Banville, a.k.a. the most feared man, wanted man in central Indiana. Listen, I think we all know what's going on right now in Indiana. People are afraid of me. People love me. Men want to be me. Women name their vibrators after me. Oh, yeah. You're either getting a fear boner or you're getting moist. That's how it works when you hear Steve Whitmer, a.k.a. Slick Whitty. All right, so a lot of things going on today. Hold on, I got to make sure that I post this stuff. Boom, there we go. I know I'm wanted. I'm wanted by everybody. I'm wanted by so many people that they want to kill me, and I've been having to stress it to everybody of how they want to kill me. But anyway, we got Kiff, we got Drew, we got Ducky, we got Polly, we got Legacy Safety Group. Anybody I'm missing? No. All right. First things first. I got a little trouble with Russia on Saturday night because of the video or the music that I used for my intro. And now I've been blocked again. I'm from Belarus, Russia. I'm pretty sure they just don't like me. However, the US and France, I am visible. And it's not that bad because my page is not, and Brad in the chat, we said before, either way they leave their seat, but damn right. They're always leaving a snail trail. But, what are you going to do? If my page was monetized, I wouldn't have that big of a problem with it. So, oh, well, at least I'm pissing off the Russians, right? All right. So the next thing, we have to do a little house cleaning. All right. That was number one. This is number two. If you guys watched the Saturday show, you saw me post this screenshot live. I was like, picture is cringe. Do better, IMPD. It was from their Instagram page. And how many did we get? Almost 70 comments off of it. I mean, perfect rage bait. I don't know how else to say it. I knew what I was doing when I did it. And I said live, is like, this is going to be perfect rage bait. I love it. And that's what happened. Got people all pissed off. Okay, I gave up. I even downloaded the pic so I could zoom in better. But I've also had a couple of bourbons, or maybe 4. I'm going to bed. Cop dressed properly. What is wrong with this picture? I don't see cringe. Looks like an in-shape, totally organized female police officer. Okay, that's what I'm not sure of. I don't know if that's a chick or if that's a dude. For real. I don't know. But here we go. All right. Redistricting update. Like I said, today has been very wild. And I don't know how else to put it, but things are going off the rails right now. All right, so just a little timeline backtrack. Braun called for a special session. Bray said they didn't have enough votes, so they weren't going to do a special session. And then, but then Houston said the House was going to meet. I even showed it in the schedule that they had, Houston had said, hey, we're going to make sure the first and second week of December, keep that clear on your calendar. There might be potential business. And so we all started mogging Braun and Bray and everybody else. And, there was a few swattings that, I've completely disavowed swattings, by the way. I have said it multiple times. Swattings are fake and gay, which is why we think the Democrats do them, because that's all they know is fake and gay stuff. And moving on, though, and then everybody was like, hey, you know what? There's a problem with the swatting, which we already know. And then Lonnie Kiesling, who's the chair of the state party for the GOP, and who is it, Karen Tallien, who's the party chair for the Democrats in Indiana. They both combined together, Subaru style, and they put out a joint statement saying, hey, we don't condone this action, which is really funny because I don't remember Democrats saying disavowing the murder of Charlie Kirk or the tens of thousands of people celebrating it. Funny how Republicans have to bend the knee, but not the Democrats, as usual. But nobody wants to call that stuff out. Yeah, whatever, Brad. Change your tampon. Anyway, so what ended up happening today was which I kind of knew was going to happen. Houston says, hey, we are gaveling on December 1st. And then not long after that. And so I had heard that this was going to happen. So I kept an eye. I just kept hitting F5 and refresh on the computer. And then I missed it. Why? Because they had this Lori, I think it's Goss Reeves. And they had that press release and they had this one come in at the exact same time. And I was like, well, what the freak? Everybody's like, I saw Ben Verbanek talking about it. I saw Nikki Kelly talking about it, but it's like, where's the press release at? I thought like a few minutes later. And so, here it is, the actual one saying that they'll gavel on December 1st. And then I was like, well, where? And then Rod Bray, who is the Senate Pro Tem, he puts out a statement, a press release. And I was like, well, where is it? And I think I have a screenshot of it, don't I? Yeah, right here. They brought it up, but then there's not even a release on the actual Indiana Senate Republican page. I was like, what the crap? And then before the show started, I started getting all my 50 tabs ready. And then they had that one. I go, oh, it's about time, Bray. It said the issue of redrawing Indiana's congressional maps mid-cycle has received a lot of attention and is causing strife here in our state. To resolve the issue, the Senate intends to reconvene as part of the regular 2026 session on December 8th and make it a final decision that week on any redistricting proposal set from the House, because we will convene as part of the regular. We anticipate concluding our regular 2020 session by the end of February, which, by the way, this is a win for all of them, all the legislators, because then they don't have to go until like the second week of March. Because I think so they're already 2 weeks ahead of schedule. It's already a short session because it's a non-budget year. For guys who don't understand, like the budget year is on odd years, and so it's a biennial. Oh, I forgot. Like what is it? It's not biennial, is it? Whatever. So this year they figure out the budget, and which will also figure out for next year. So they don't really doing anything. They can't do anything that this session related to the budget. It's probably going to be like different bills. I saw Ireland talking about gunfire, execution by gunfire. Let's go. I saw a few other ones too. None of it that will be heard during committee, I'm sure. But so far, nothing is actually on the IGA website. I just checked a little bit. Wharton House, let's go. All right, so the House had put out the schedule. They showed potential special session. And I was like, well played, Todd Houston. Well played. And then right before the show started, I checked the schedule, and it's official. They even have the times at what time they'll be meeting. So I know exactly so I will be bringing I might even buy a third laptop, to be honest with you, because I want them both recording at the same time so I can just go back and pick whatever I want. I might actually do that. I think I might be crazy enough to do it. I wasn't feeling that well today, and I really thought about like not having the show, but then I thought to myself, you know what? For the people, I'll always get half chubbed for my witters with a hard R. Where are my witters at? Anyway, there's that. Yeah, so true, too. No, actually, I wasn't. You know what? You want to know what, Brad? I'm glad you brought that up. I'm really glad you brought that up, because I was going to mention it on Saturday's show, and I completely forgot about it. I was biting my tongue the entire time. I was chewing so many chiclets, just trying to keep my mouth shut of what I wanted to say, and it's mostly for Johnny Suitcase, Johnny GOP, Johnny Chateau de Mars Hill Studio. So to make sure that people were not looking at mouthwash as like this blood sport, basically. So no prison reform for me. The butt fucking will continue. We just need more executions. That's all. So anyway, over here on Facebook, we didn't post this on Twitter. We weren't sure how it was going to go, but I personally posted it up on Facebook. A little bit ago, she was a semi. Who's that? So anyway, Rod Bray, Papa Bray, was basically telling Baby Braun, I know, Brett. I knew you were. Dude, I was like chained up. I was like Harry Houdini and and a straitjacket. I'm just like, get me out. I just want to breathe. Let me scream. The hot Latina. No smasher. Listen, I have been advised not to do any more smash or pass. All right. I'm trying to do my best. There's no big booty Latina. There's none of that. But anyway, so we got to the whole how it started with Papa Bray with Baby Braun saying, don't you worry, little one. We're going to take care of business, as in no redistricting for you. Then what happened like a week later? Now we have it the other way. Papa Braun and Baby Bray in the carrier, holding it out, get a little tap on top of the head saying, sorry, little guy, this isn't happening. And then the more people that we talk to, this is what it was ended up being more like. Was this. Everybody that I was talking to, that we were talking to, is like, nah, actually, Todd Houston's more of a chat than you guys know. And he basically reeled in Bray. Updated. Who would have thought, honestly? Yeah, Brad, you are correct. It is definitely more of a smash. I have been advised not even to do it on the Saturday show anymore, too. It's probably because pretty soon we're going to be doing, I will be doing the Indie Reporter show, which actually, when is that starting? I think it starts next week. Yeah, I think I'm going to start it next Monday as a pilot for 2 weeks. But anyway, I've been advised not to do it, even though I am completely blacklisted, like officially blacklisted on WIBC. I'm not allowed to be on anybody's show on WIBC because of my mean tweets, but whatever. So this is where we're at right now. And then Scott Pressler, they said that they were he was going to be coming down to Indiana, which is cool. I got to like that and got to like that. Remember, Ken Colbert. So Mike Thompson is running a primary against Andy Zay, and I forgot who this Trevor DeVry person is. I forgot who they're running against. Right on, Legacy Safety Group. Where's Brendan Carr? That Brandon Carr's brother? Derek Carr's brother? Anyway, and DC Drano says Scott Pressler is going to Indiana to help primary any Rhino state senator voting to protect 2 Dem House seats. I am very interested on how it's going to go. I have a feeling, though, that there is a map. And I have a feeling that Democrats will not have much to complain about. I'm just saying, I'm throwing that out there right now. I haven't seen anything. I think like Erickson, the one that I keep seeing is this one that has like the middle finger on District 8. We'll see though. I mean, there's a couple options. I've seen like 3 or 4 of them so far. I don't know. We'll see what happens though. All right. The whole reason why you're actually here is hold on 1 second. Boom. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be keeping my eye onto it. All right. So, but what's going to happen for sure? This is how I did it last year, or earlier this year. Basically, I was streaming Indie Report. I was streaming the IGA session off of Indie Reporter so I could just go back and clip everything. And I might do that again. I don't know though, and I just did it through Restream. I don't know how to do both of them at the same time, because when the House and the Senate are going off at the same time, like the first week won't be a problem, but the second week will definitely be a problem because they're probably meeting at the same time. It's going to be a problem, but I'm gonna get it. Don't you worry, I'm gonna get it. All right, but 8:16. It might be an early show. Who could say? There's a lot to cover, but I'm gonna run through this pretty quick. I don't want to like jump on it and just mush it to death. So what we know from like a week or 2 ago, there was a major shakeup in the Marion County GOP. You had 3 people get replaced. There was Michael Paul Hart, Cindy Mowry. Actually, hold on. Hold on, I forgot. There it is. I forgot my favorite Cindy Mowry story. How could I forget? All right, I'll do this one first. Boom. All right, so then we had Michael Paul Hart, Cindy Mowry, and Becky Bechtel. Now, Michael Paul Hart, it wasn't a big surprise. I think he actually made a post about wanting to be replaced. I don't know if it was last year or some earlier this year, but he had a lot of stuff on his plate, so I don't blame him. Be honest with you, I don't like Michael Paul Hart, but I don't blame him for wanting to step down from that leadership position. Cindy Mowry was a little bit more interesting because she's basically like the queen of Franklin Township. And her getting replaced made me wonder about this one. State sues Marion County Fair Board leader for allegedly misusing public funds. Now, this happened in April of 2025. Let me get my OBS here. Okay, right there. And let's see. The AG's office filed a complaint against Mowry in Marion County Superior Court on March 7. Alleges that she wrongfully or neglectfully used public money and enriched herself with public funds by using Marion County Fair Board money to pay painters for work done at her home. The amount sought in the suit includes the $4,500 to pay the painters and $7,648 used to pay for the SBOA investigation. Now, I don't know exactly what happened with this. Anybody in the chat? Hey, anybody in the chat, can you help a brother out? Hey, can you help a widder out? Hard R with the widder. Now, I thought maybe that Cindy Mowry was getting replaced because of the heat from this thing, which, I had brought up earlier this year. I said, why is I didn't even know if that, by the way, I didn't even know if that she was still chair of the Franklin Township GOP, like not joking or anything. Well, oh, okay. I got it. The hotly teeny thing. So yeah, who knows? All right. But, the most surprising one was Becky Bechtel, like not even joking. Well, she was the Washington Township GOP chair. That one I was very surprised on because she's a ride or die for the Shield. You can take this bad if you want to, but she would protect the Shield, the GOP Shield, no matter what. She is a true live by the Shield, die by the Shield. You could call her a bootlicker if you want to, but she'll always protect the Republican name. Okay, hold on. Court date 12/15 with the AG to see if she paid the money. Oh, okay. By the way, that's not me. All right, that's not me that just posted that. I don't need any lawsuit coming my way. And so in the Oracle goes, they can't be any worse than the ones that we've had, can they? Which got me thinking. I think that they were replacing the old guard with new people because Cindy Mowry and Becky Bechtel are kind of old, so they just want to replace with millennials, basically. Paul Hart is a millennial, but he wanted to drop out anyway. So who they replaced him with was Connor Ortman for Michael Paul Hart, Brian Gamache in Washington Township, and Joel Bragg in Franklin Township. And so I did a little write-up. I already knew who these people were. Brian Gamache, which was really funny because I talked about him earlier this year because of his wife, Reagan. So I already talked about Cindy Mowry. Now, this is Brian Gamache. So I talked about this earlier. I always talk about this, the Todd Young and now Jefferson Shreve tree of how it's ever expanding in Marion County. And I don't know why. And I think I finally figured out why. And it's not good, obviously. I mean, Todd Young is a shithead. Jefferson Shreve is a shithead. And I don't like either of them, obviously. A bunch of rhino GDP bros. And anybody connected into that circle, I automatically despise. Same thing with Eric Doden. Now, Brian Gamache, do you remember Senator Greg Good, who is the state director for Todd Young, right? When John Ford stepped down, Greg Good was caucused in. Now, right here, Brian Gamache, state operations director for Todd Young, campaign manager for Eric Doden. And then before that, director of comms for Todd Young and Hathaway Strategies before that, and campaign manager for Connie Lawson. More Hathaway Strategies and everything. Anne Hathaway, who used to be the GOP state chair, and who did a terrible job. Every time that she was in front of people, she would talk about how she's organizing the National Party in Milwaukee or something. John, do you remember that? Do you remember that? Like, what was it, 23 or 24, whatever it was? And it was like, we're in Indiana, lady. We don't care what's happening in Wisconsin. You're supposed to lock down here. And, by the way, backtrack a little bit. I said when Joe Elsner stepped down and Natalie Goodwin replaced him, she was going to be 1,000 times worse than Joe Elsner. And oh boy, I was right again. It's something weird, like how right I am. It's almost like I'm so high aware. I'm like 50. I'm playing 10D chess with everybody. I'm super aware of what's going on. And then, I really debated. Like, honestly, I debated on bringing up his wife, Reagan Gamache. Because I am, everybody knows I'm a dick because but I try not to be a monster. I might be the bad guy a lot of the times, but I try not to be the monster. But this time, I think for context, I actually have to bring it up. Now, Reagan Gamache currently works for Bullhorn Communications, digital director for Shreve. Oh, what's that? Deputy finance director for Todd Young? That's so weird. The Todd Young tree? Interesting. Now let's look into Bullhorn Communications a little bit. How much? Whoa. Bullhorn Communications spent a lot. Shreve spent a lot of money with Bullhorn, with Bullhorn Communications. So weird, huh? Brubaker, Adland. Yeah, actually, no, I should check the you know who I didn't check? Did I? Is it next? No, I didn't check. I should check to see if Bullhorn was with the Indiana, because I got a feeling that they probably did. Expenditure. Yeah. Who the freak are these people? Not much. Hold on. All right, so not much. With Linda Rogers, Senate Majority. I mean, spent a lot of money with Jeff Ellington, whoever that is. What'd he run for? Anybody know? Now I got to know. Now I got to know what Jeff Ellington did. Wait, is he an actual state rep? Oh, he was a state rep. Did he run for office? Oh, that he would be running for 45 districts, and he lost to Republican. Oh, he lost to Bruce Borders. Dude, Bruce Borders is the worst. Old Elvis himself. Anyway. All right, moving on from that, though. But Shreve spent a lot of money with Bullhorn Communications. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier this year. All this stuff really lined up during the Marion County GOP state chair race between Johnny Suitcase, Johnny GOP versus Natalie Goodwin. When I started talking about all the stuff and the people that we have to watch out for. Funny enough, Gamache was the one, and then I ended up finding out that she was married to Brian. And now Brian, who was the state operations director for Todd Young, is now the Washington Township GOP chair, who replaced Becky Bechtel, which I thought Becky Bechtel, I'm not the biggest Bechtel fan, but also, like, you want someone, if you are looking to protect the shield, no matter what, that's the person you want in your corner. That's all I'm going to say. Anybody in the Todd Young tree is an absolute douchebag. And they need to be thrown into the crystal. All right. So Joel Bragg, who is replacing Cindy Mowry, currently association director for Hallowell Consulting. Now, Hallowell Consulting is Jennifer Hallowell. Who is Jennifer Hallowell married to? Kyle, Where Are the Bodies Walker. That's right. And then before that, he was political director for Brad Chambers. Terrible. I mean, the most liberal rhino that was running for office last year, without a doubt. Like, no joke. Even when they did like a vote smart thing for Brad Chambers had to fill it out, it even showed him on the left too. And I said, dude, a Brad Chambers, former president of the IEDC, got money from Andretti. I don't think he really traveled as much as Holcomb, but either way. Also, executive director for the Marion County Republican Central Committee. This is how I knew about Joel Bragg, because when Joe Elsner was the chair of the Marion County GOP party, Joel Bragg was basically his little lapdog. And he's just saying, he's like putting little treats up there for him. He's like, come on, little JB. Come on, little J. Let's go. Maybe some flowers, maybe for a wedding. I mean, who knows with everything that's going on. But the point is that Joel Bragg was part of the Joe Elsner sphere. And in my opinion, completely destroyed the GOP in Marion County. Like, if Elsner was the forest fire, Natalie Goodwin is the nuke. Like, no joke. Obviously, all my opinion. Elsner didn't do anything when people were running for city council. He didn't do anything for people like Andrew Harrison, or who are the guy who was running as sheriff, and everybody else. What was like Bajas or Borjas, whatever her name was. Barely did anything for anybody that was running for city council. Cindy Carrasco was a terrible candidate, however you want to look at it. She was the best of the worst situation, and now she's senator, of course. But Joel Bragg, part of the Joe Elsner sphere, part of the Brad Chambers, part of the Hallowell Consulting. I mean, just the worst freaking people ever that this guy is part of. Now, his wife, on the other hand, Raquel Bragg, who works for Eli, and I wasn't even going to mention her until I saw that she worked for Holly Sullivan, and also digital communications director for who? Eric Holcomb. Wow, so weird. I thought this was the funniest part, though. She's senior director for R&D, strategic operations, and internal management for Eli Lilly. When you go and check out what she went to school for, she spent 3 years, a Bachelor of Arts for electronic media production. Like, I really want to know what gives her. How is she able to have that job? Unless it was like, I'm not saying, but we can all. Okay, let's do a little think tank. All right. Let's do a little ideas. Like, if, all right, you have a degree, a BA in electronic media production, but somehow you are the R&D, strategic operations and internal management for Eli Lilly. What makes you think you got that job? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying anything, but one would actually have to guess. Now, Connor Ortman, this is the most confusing one. And I'm not trying to say this is who it is, but this guy looks like Connor Ortman right here. And you know what? Should I email him? Should I? His email's right over here. Should I email Connor Ortman and ask him if that's him? Because I have not been able to get a straight answer. Now, there is a Connor Ortman from 2019 who fell asleep in the driver's seat, and then he admitted he had been drinking, and a chemical test showed his blood alcohol level was nearly 2 times the legal limit. And it said he is a Winnick campaign political director. Facial hair isn't as red. Yeah, but like my facial hair is red. That's probably because I'm part devil, or my devilishly good looks. Who could say? I don't know. That's what I've been trying to figure out. Still less than Bohachik. Dude, I'm telling you, I think I'm going to do a Bohachik drill for a New Year's Eve. Because I don't think I'm doing all of it. I don't think I'm doing anything for New Year's Eve. It does. Yeah, I mean, political director. When you go to, you know what? I don't have his LinkedIn in. Hold on. He's works for FSSA. But in his LinkedIn, all right, hold on. Okay, here we go. Right there. Boom. Right? This picture. And then that picture. All right, hold on. That picture. That picture. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, look at the eyebrows, right? Look at the eyebrows. Then look at the eyebrows here. I'm just saying. Maybe I should email him just to find out. I know D2 Indy is all pumped for that. A Bohachik drill on New Year's Eve. Who wouldn't want to join that stream? All right, so let's move on to here then. I might actually be early. I might be able to get I make sure that I give Johnny plenty of time to go to the bathroom. We're running through this pretty quick. Because I don't have anything to do. Nobody wants to celebrate New Year's Eve with me. That's why. I just got a message. Why aren't you doing anything for New Year's Eve? Because nobody wants to celebrate New Year's Eve with me. So I'm going to be here drinking by myself, entertaining D2 Indy with I might actually check out my my Jim Banks mug, Team Banks. I got it when I was doing the table for Rokita. And I was like, well, I'm going to grab a mug because I have my booze in here right now. Anyway. Polly. All right. So anyway, this is what we have right here. We have like a whole collage of douchebags in this picture right now. Quick rundown, though. This was from Jefferson Shreve, if you couldn't tell. Oh, hold on. Oop, there we go. Now, right here, we have Isaac White. We have Liam Putz, Kate the Turk, Brian Gamache, and Mike Cross. Now, if you guys watched the Saturday show, I was trying to figure out who Mike Cross was. I was like getting a little fumble. I was fumbling with the bag here. And so what the other people were easy to do. Now, Isaac White is a special assistant to Jefferson Shreve. He's also on the IU Board of Trustees, and he was appointed by Mike Braun. Liam Putz and Kate the Turk works for Limestone Strategies, and we saw them. Drew, Johnny, everybody else that was going to the events. We saw these two. We even saw them at the GOP chair election, organization day. Is that what you call it? And I saw both of them. One of them Liam, I think, wanted to fight Haas, or was like mean mugging him or start some crap with him, if I remember right. And then Todd Young and Jefferson Shreve paid Limestone for campaign help, which I'll show you here in a second. Brian Gamache, right here, operations director for Todd Young, the new Washington Township GOP chair. No, Mike Cross was actually the hardest one to find because they were telling me that he works for, what is it, Crossfield? What is it? Oh, Crossroads Strategies. That's where I was struggling a little bit. And then once I found that out, I was able to figure everything out. Did he eat it, Drew? That's all I want to know. Was he eating his boogers? Where is it? There it is. All right. So moving on. Right here. This was the obvious picture. Isaac White with Dan Elliott with Chris King. Now, Isaac White, who is now the IU Board of Trustee, also Dan Elliott wearing his Shreve shirt, but also Chris King. Chris King is on the board of the IEDC. Chris King was trying to get a data center in Hancock County. Chris King was also pushing for a data center like a week or so ago. Who was it? Actually, let me look it up. Right here. Angela Moore says, developer Chris King sends his out-of-town construction crew to hold signs in support of proposed data center and fill limited seats at a planning committee while the majority of local Henry County residents who are against it are locked out. Bam, right there. This is what I'm saying. Like, all the stuff is connected. This is all the standard handshakes and hand jobs. And what it all boils down to. Okay, let me show Mike Cross real quick. In his LinkedIn, it shows campaign manager for Aaron Huchin. And also Aaron Huchin, Senate Majority Campaign Committee, Indiana Federation of College Republicans, LA, blah, 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 blah. Glass cockpit aviation. What does that even mean? As you can see here, Mike Cross got money from Carrasco, from Elena Schockweiler, Danny Lopez, Aaron Huchin, a lot of Aaron Huchin. Before that, even as Crossroads Strategy, Carrasco, Elena Schockweiler, Danny Lopez, Ethan Lawson, Rhonda Sharp, whoever that is, and Kent Abernathy back in 22. And even on here, on the FEC documents, you can see Aaron Huchin. There must be a different Crossroads. Oh, yeah, that's DC. And you can see them all from the Indiana, from Crossroads Strategies. Just a straight-up Huchin person. No big deal. But what does all really boil? Oh, this was the limestone, as you can see, Liam Putz and Kate the Turk right there. Vic in the chat, let's go. But when this all boils down to is, my opinion is, what's their next media engagement with? You mean, where am I going to get kicked out of next? I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to avoid getting kicked out, to be honest with you. But to go back, I said it at the beginning of the year when we were trying to get John to be the county chair. My theory is that this all boils down to Limestone trying to be the premier political strategy people in Marion County. Oh, what's that? You want to run for office? Well, you got to use Limestone. And I expect it to happen during the prosecutor's race and definitely during the mayor's race. The mayor's race, listen, Republicans, you are not going to win, and I will make sure of that. I will make sure that you do not win. But Limestone, as you can see in the campaign reports, got a lot of money from Eric Doden. Now, some of you might be saying, why don't you like Eric Doden? Well, I do appreciate Eric Doden's team dropping me off his book, because that's actually why I don't like Eric Doden. Eric Doden was bragging about how he raised the home prices because of what was Electric Works over in Fort Wayne, whenever it was. That's right, little Johnny Walrus. And he bragged about it. It's like, well, what happens when your home price is increased? Your property taxes go up too. So Eric Doden, in his book, is basically bragging about raising property taxes in the area because of the revitalization of, I think it was Electric Works. I might be wrong, but it's something like that. But anyway, Eric Doden got a bunch of help from Limestone Strategies. All right. This one, I literally, Aaron Huchin too. I think Chris Garton, Eric Bassler, a lot of the people. All right, this is the one that really pissed me off. Hoosiers for Quality Education Political Action Committee. And I was like, wait a minute. Is this the same one? To hate like that. Nope. And there's a plenty of life for hate. Hoosiers for Quality Education Political Action Committee. Is that the same? Yeah, that's what I want. Is that the same Institute for Quality Education? Wait a minute. Is that the same joint that Milligan works for? How many times have I said it? How many times? So I'm like, all right, well, what's the address? 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 700. Where does it say for the, do I have it? Yeah, right here. Hoosiers for Quality Education PAC. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 700. I knew it. How many times have I said it? Again, with the Limestone. And I said, hey, John, did we not say about that woman right there? Now it's all making sense, right? That's all I'm saying. Hey, there's a reason why I didn't like Milligan. And I said you can take it to the bank. But, I said I do not trust her. I don't know why. And what do you know why? I knew it. Anyway. Who's that? Fred Clips. Betsy White. Wait a minute. She showed up in something. Oh, man. I just saw her. Betsy Wiley. Why does she sound familiar? Actually, all these douchebags do. Why do they all sound familiar? Anyway, going back to Limestone, though. Limestone got they help out Todd Young. They help out Shreve. Big Ideas Excellence PAC. The Oorah PAC. The Shreve's own PAC. The Secure Homeland Rebuild Economy Vote and Educate PAC. Shreve is such full of himself that he had to make his own PAC as an acronym for his name. Pathetic, Shreve. Pathetic. I also want to know if there was that honeypot that we had posted on Indie Reporter a few days ago. Was it like Alistraw or something? Seems like a honeypot to me, but who knows? Right here, Oorah, Shreve, Friends of Todd Young. The Oorah PAC is Todd Young's PAC. Also, Aaron Huchin, too, for Limestone through the FEC. This is what I thought was really interesting. Uniforms and ties, I always say. This is what I thought was really interesting. Limestone also helped out Suzanne Brooks. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, that's how this whole thing kind of started. Because if we go to Natalie Goodwin's LinkedIn, who did she work for? Suzanne Brooks during that time. Brooks has actually had help with Limestone for a while. I'm just now getting a notification. I don't know. That's a good question, Val. I'm afraid I can't help you out with that. Well, there was a large problem at the beginning of the show. I will tell you that. Houchin, not Hoochin. Oh, really? No, I'm going with Hoochin. Tomato, as they would say. Houchin. There's probably like a joke you could be like, or like a little sayings like, you chin, I chin, you all scream for Hoochin. Something like that. But anyway, Natalie Goodwin, which by the way, she got a new job at the chamber, but she's too lazy to update her LinkedIn. She has not updated her LinkedIn after becoming vice president of public affairs. Yeah, public affairs team. By the way, there's 2 vice presidents, in case you didn't know, because they separate the work. And of course, her husband is in the healthcare industry, and she will oversee health and tax and public finance efforts. Go figure, right? Wow, who would have ever guessed? But same thing. That's why I like that the Suzanne Brooks, the Todd Young, the Jefferson Shreve, all these things are tied in. And the only thing that it's all tied in with is Limestone Strategies. This is where I'd say that all this boils down to Camp Savage. Oh, yeah, by the way, real quick, is Kevin Ober related to David Ober? Like, for real, I really want to know. Because that would just throw this whole thing crazy. I mean, it kind of looks like David Ober. It looked like this could be like Kevin Ober's older brother. I don't know. Because I think David Ober's my age. I actually saw him at that policy summit. Looks like he has AIDS. But anyway. So, yeah. I think this is all going to come down to Limestone Strategies. We will know for sure next year, though, because you have prosecutor, you have sheriff, you have like 3 useless positions that will be elected that Democrats will automatically win. We know that basically it will be a Democrat clean sweep. But I think Limestone is going to be a big player on who is going to be fundraising with the campaign help for the prosecutor. I haven't heard any names yet. We did see a picture. I don't know, Drew, if you remember, was Shreve and Natalie talking about, I think it was Marion County or the prosecutor, who they're going to run against Mears. Listen, Mears is going to win. And the only reason why you would run anybody against them if you're trying to make money off that candidate. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. All right, I'm just saying, right? Ortman? Okay. Yeah, if Ducky was here. Yeah, there's Duck right there. What are you talking about? If Ducky was here, she would say Uniparty, bro. It is Uniparty. We have to be... there are levels, I think, to the Uniparty, though. And this is why I will never be a legislator. Because I do not like playing games. I don't like playing... everybody else can play the game, and I'm just going to be here to call it out. And the connections to everything and everybody. Now, I expect that Marion County GOP is going to get 1,000 times worse than whatever it is right now. Let's look at their calendar. Where is it? Oh, there it is. All right. What the hell was that? Oh. You freaked me out for a second. Where is their elected officials voting? Get involved. I thought there was a calendar about local clubs. By the way, that they never meet at. Yeah, the date for the Wayne Township one, May 29th. It's November, my man. Didn't they have a calendar page somewhere? Yeah, you know what I'd really like to know? Where is Matt Hills? Where is Whitney Peterson? Where's David Taylor? Wow, they actually have their links actually work this time. Oh, there it is. All right, let's check out their calendar. Dude, what is going on right now? All right, so the Wayne Township Lincoln Day dinner with Governor Braun, allegedly. And there's a virtual kickoff for Community Engagement Committee. And then the Holiday Toy Drive. There's one on there. Does anybody know about the Wayne Township GOP dinner? They don't even have the date set for the convention in June, which I will be at in Fort Wayne, baby. I actually booked a hotel. I'll be there for a couple of days. So yeah, it should be a grand old time. That's very cute, Vic. All right, so just to give an update of what is going to be happening. So Saturday show, obviously at 8 o'clock. I may or may not be doing a show the following week because I may be up north doing some investigation in the new Carlisle data center and possibly the one in South Bend. So I might not make it back in time. But starting next Monday, there will be the Indie Reporter show. So here's the plan, really. It will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, starting at 8 o'clock. And basically, no. no, D2 Indie. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know a little Johnny Walrus. But the plan is for the Indie Reporter show. Here's basically the whole concept. 20 minutes is the countdown. You don't really need anything more than that. Just to give a quick rundown of the news, what happened during that day for news. Whether it's happening at the State House, while it's happening in Indiana or Indianapolis, just a quick breakdown of what's going on, 20 minutes, 8 o'clock. And no, I refuse to mingle, by the way. I am not a mingler because I know these monsters. I can see them, the devilish in their eyes. I despise the vast majority of these people. So that's kind of what's going to be happening next week. I don't know if it's going to be on Twitter, and it will be for sure on YouTube. I'm just not sure if it's going to be happening on Twitter or even Facebook. It's because the problem is when you do restream, for some reason the schedule does not work. Like I will schedule something and I'll link it to that. That's what I tried doing with Whitty Reviews a few months ago. I was trying to have it on Facebook and YouTube, but the schedule link would not work. And so maybe I might have to do a few test runs this weekend. But yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. You guys have a good Thanksgiving. Stay safe. Stay full. Don't drink and drive. Don't go to any massage parlors either. Love you guys. Bye.